Okay, here is the 7th video in the SRT standard. That's after topic 7 in the Pearson book. This is the video review series for the final exam review for Math 3, Fall 2019, second semester. Remember, disclaimer, this video series or the review document that's on OneNote, neither of these is all-inclusive. You're responsible for studying and learning everything we've talked about all year long. So there's a word problem about they give you a diagram between 3 airports and some distance between them and an angle on a straight line at airport B. The question is asking how far is airport C from airport A, and round your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, so I've already drawn it down here, and looking at this, remember the first question we ask ourselves, well, we ask ourselves a previous question, is this a right triangle that I can use sine, cosine, and tangent? The answer is no. So then you go, okay, I have to use law of sines or cosines. Do I know one angle and its opposite side? That's the question you ask yourself. If you know one angle and its opposite side, you can use law of sines. In this case, we do not. So we have to use law of cosines. And I did you guys a favor here. I labeled each of the sides with little a, little b, and little c. So when we plug into the law of cosines over here, it makes it much easier. So if somebody could be at the ready on the calculator to help me out with these numbers, I would appreciate it. So doing the law of cosines in this case, we're just going to figure out what the answer is on the right and then take the square root to find the distance. Okay, so a squared is, what's 100 squared? Is that 100,000? Is that 1 and 4 zeros? Is that, no, 10,000. Is it 10,000? Okay. And then plus c squared, what's 90 squared? Is that 8,100? Okay, then somebody plug in for me 2 times 100 times 90. What is this one right here? 18,000? Okay, so this is 10,000 plus 8,100. Is that 18,100? Is that right? And this is minus 18,000 cosine 115? Sweet. Okay, so my recommendation in the calculator is do the cosine part first. So that's supposed to be 18,000, right? 18,000 times cosine of 115. You see how it's a negative number right there? That's what they're trying to fool you with. That negative number is would throw you off if you don't forget that negative. So this part right here is negative. And I've got a negative in front of it. What happens to the two negatives? That's right, they cancel each other out. So I'm going to leave this number in my calculator, and I'm just going to go times -1. Just turn it positive. So add that to 18,100. There's the answer there. Equals 25,707 something something something. And take the square root in my calculator to find b. So to the nearest tenth, it looks like airport A to C is 160.3 miles. Any questions on that? Remember, this part right here being a negative value changes the sign of that one to positive. That's how students are going to screw up if they're not watching this video or not doing it properly. Okay, let's carry that straight into the next one so I don't have to do another video on this. This is using your area formulas. Remember, I told you to use area if they have to give you side, angle, side setup. In this case, they have given you side, angle, side, angle, side. But the question, here's the area formulas right there. See how they're all set up side, angle, side? But the question is going to be asking you, what's the altitude length, and then find the area. So they're asking you the intermediate step to find this actual altitude that I've drawn right there. Well, this is a right triangle. I can set up this altitude, let's just call it x. Okay, I can solve for x by doing the sine of e, whatever the sine of e is, isn't that equal to this x over 5? right? That's how you find the length of the altitude. Just 5 times the sine of E. In this case, the sine of E is 55 degrees. So 5 times sine of 55. A bunch of S's and 5's in there. That's cool. So 4 point, round to the nearest tenth of a unit. We're going to say that that altitude is 4.1 units. And then we can use the same thing for the area. The area in this case is 1/2 5 times 16 times sine of 55. Okay? This part and this part were right there. So I already have that. I have 5 times sine of 55 right there. So all I have to do is multiply by, well, what's 1/2 of 16? Multiply by 8. So the area is about 32.8 units squared. Okay, stopping the video so I can take questions.